For 200,000 years, human beings were a rare species. We were scattered across the savanna, struggling against the elements, fighting just to survive. It took all of human history until the year 1800 to finally reach a population of 1 billion people. But then something ignited. In just 1 century, we doubled that number. And then, in a flash of historical time, we tripled it again. Today, we share this fragile planet with 8 billion souls. Looking at this curve, it feels like a runaway train. It looks like an explosion that will never stop. We have all heard the warnings. Overpopulation, resource wars, a planet crowded beyond its breaking point. But here is the secret that the data is whispering, a secret that contradicts our deepest fears. The population bomb has already been defused. To understand why, we must look back at why we grew so fast in the first place. Before the 20th century, families were large, but life was short. Parents had 6 or 7 children because they knew that only 2 might survive to adulthood. There was a balance. High birth rates matched by high death rates. The population line stayed flat. But then came the Industrial Revolution. Then came science. Then came soap and sanitation and antibiotics. Suddenly we stopped dying so young. Those 7 children all survived to have children of their own. This created the massive spike we see in the history books. It wasn't that people started breeding more. It was that people stopped dying. But this phase does not last forever. History shows us that a massive cultural shift follows. As societies escape poverty and as children survive, parents stop having large families. When women gain access to education and enter the workforce, the fertility rate drops. It drops fast. In the 1960s, the average woman on Earth had 5 children. Today, that number has fallen to just under 2.3. This brings us to a critical concept, the replacement level. To keep a population stable, each couple needs to have, on average, 2.1 children. If the number falls below that, the population eventually shrinks. Most of the Western world is already well below this line. South Korea, Japan, Italy, and Germany are already seeing their populations decline. The great growth engine of the last century has run out of steam. So to answer the question, will Earth hit 10 billion people? The answer is almost certainly yes. Demographers project that we will cross this threshold sometime in the late 2050s. But this growth is not coming from new babies. We have actually reached a moment called peak child. The total number of children in the world has stopped growing. There are 2 billion children today. And by the end of the century, there will still be 2 billion children. The reason we are growing to 10 billion is simply momentum. The large generations born decades ago are growing up and growing old. We are filling up with adults, not children. But what happens after 10 billion? This is where the forecast becomes truly fascinating. Current models suggest that the human population will likely peak around the year 2080. We might reach 10.4 billion, perhaps barely scratching 11 billion. And then, for the first time in modern history, the global human population will begin to fall. By the year 2100, we could be back down to levels we see today. The crisis of the future is not overcrowding. It is an inverted pyramid. Imagine a world filled with the elderly, but with very few young people to support the economy or care for the old. It is a world of empty schools and crowded retirement homes. This is the true challenge of the 21st century. We spent decades fearing the bomb of overpopulation, but we forgot to prepare for the silence that follows. We will reach 10 billion. That is written in the stars. But that number will likely be the high water mark of the human story, a peak before the long, slow descent.